Welcome back, everyone. We're working on our Android app development, and when we last left our coding heroes, we had just added a button. We had added a on-click listener for the button, and we appended, I just click the button every time we click it. Here it is. I click the button, and you can see it working. Well, that's kind of silly. We don't need to do that anymore, so I'm going to just delete that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do some more interesting information. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we can't leave temperature or wind speed blank. Okay, so we're going to check how many characters have been added to each of these edit text. So in order to do that, we're going to go over here and we're going to do an if statement. If. And the if structure, like here, looks like this. We have if, we have parentheses, and we're going to make a check. We're going to compare some values. So the first thing we want to do is look at edit temperature, and we're going to put dot. We want to get what text is in there. So get text will find what's inside of edit temp. What did the user type? And then once we have that, we're going to add a little dot, and we're going to get the length of it. Now what the length does is the length actually, if you highlight over it, sorry, it keeps popping away, it says it returns, where it says found, it returns an integer, or int for short. So what this does is it tells us how many characters are in that box. So if that is equal to 0, that's like saying nothing is in the box. Okay? So we want to send back some information on our results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up a stage. I forgot this little step here. We're going to create a string variable. We're going to call it results. And we're going to set it, at this point, to nothing. Actually, we're going to change it. I'm going to put results like so. So this is going to be results. It's going to tell us what the results are. Then, notice this results variable is not the same as text results. At the end of the click, we are going to set the text of text results to that string I just showed you, results, like so. Okay. Next, if this is 0, that means that there is nothing in there. So we're going to write results plus equals, oops, something is missing, like so. Don't forget to put a little curly or semicolon there. Another thing we can do is we can trigger an error on edit temp, which will pop up a little warning. In fact, I think I should do that first. So I'm going to put edit temp like so. I'm going to put a dot, and it's set error, I believe. Yeah, set error. So what that means is it's going to put a little alert onto that window. I'm just going to put a little enter number, something like that. And you can choose whatever you want on the display. So notice we have edit temp set error. We add a little results. Something is missing. And then instead of set text, yeah, I'm going to do set text. Notice I put results plus equals. That means take results and add this to the end of it. So now results is going to have results. Oops, something is missing. Let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, so we have the app here. Let's go ahead and test it out. I'm going to click Get Windchill. Notice, enter a number. And the cursor is just blinking right there. And it says results. Oops, something is missing. So now I'm going to type something in. 1, Get Windchill. Nothing happened on results. Okay. So what we want to do now is be able to make sure that whatever temperature they put in, it's not going to be below a certain amount or above another amount. So we're going to modify this method, the onClick, to check for that. And we should check for temperature as well. Before I proceed, let me just show you what getText can do because I want to just show you the results. I'm going to add an else statement. So what we're saying, if that's not the case, then we want to go ahead and I'm going to put results plus equals, and that was temperature. And I'm going to put a little thing here. I'm going to put a plus, and then I'm going to write edit temp dot get text. And I'm going to put a plus here. I'm going to do this new line, \n, like so. It's going to put a new line return on results. I'm going to put a \n at the beginning as well. Let's test that out. All right, let's go ahead and test it. I click Get Windchill, enter a number. Oops, something is missing. And I put 111. Now notice temperature, 111, and that's under results. Hopefully the first thing you're thinking is, who really wants to know what the wind chill is at 111? If anything, it should actually feel hotter, right? And if you've ever lived in a hot place like Arizona, New Mexico, or Houston, or I don't know, anywhere where it gets hot, that's not fun, 111 degrees with wind. But let's figure out what we want to do to get our results. Before I do, I'm going to add sort of some comments here to talk about expected behavior of this. So I'm going to add it, and then I'll talk about what that is. Well, guess what? I did a little research. I went to the NWS.NOAA, National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Association, whatever it's called, .gov, and we looked at their wind chill calculator because I figured this would be really good. You know, we've got some charts, we got some expected input output, we have our formula we're going to use, but then I wanted to see what would they let me calculate, and I discovered a couple interesting things. Number one, wind chill temperature is only defined for temperatures at or below 50 degrees and wind speeds above 3 miles per hour. Then I wanted to test how much above, so I put 150 mile an hour wind, and right here, winds need to be between 3 and 110. So one of the things is this is some very informative information, so we're going to use that information and display it on results so that the user can go, oh, I get it. So we're going to do something along these lines here, okay? So we go back here, and we're just going to go ahead and walk through this as well and code it out. A lot of times you'll hear programmers, software developers, they'll talk about business logic or programming logic. So the logic here is we're going to not allow for anything to go past the range that we see here. So we're going to check temperature range here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and test this. Oops, something is missing. That means they didn't enter anything. So the next thing we want to do is do an else if. I'm going to kind of do what we did with results. I'm going to create a new variable. We'll call it temp. And in temp, what we're going to try to do is we're going to see if we can convert what's in edit temp to a string. Okay, so we're going to put int temp equals integer capital I dot parse int, which what that does is it's going to try to take a string and convert it to an integer. So what we do is we do edit temp dot to get text, I believe, get text dot to string, like so, semicolon. Now, I don't know if this is going to cause an error or not. This could crash our program. We're going to try it first. So now what we can do is we can put if temp, like so, is less than -50, double ampersand, temp is greater than 50. Isn't that what we said the range was? -50 to 50. Okay. Now we're going to add to our results the message that they gave on the other one that basically the temperature range here be between -50. Now watch what I do here. I'm just going to hit enter right in the middle of this line. You notice how I put a little plus sign there, and then the next line here. Between -50 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go ahead and try it now and see if that works. So I'm going to leave you with the code there. You might want to pause it while I load it. Here we go. Let's test this out. We click without putting anything in. Ah, look what happened. It crashed. Crash and burn. I thought it might do that. What crashed this is this right here. Okay, if that edit temp has nothing in it, well then how is it going to convert it to an integer? We can't convert nothing into something. So what we have to do is we have to do a little exception handling. We're going to try to do this, and if we can't, we're going to hope that what happens here is going to go ahead and basically cause an error. So in order to do this, we're going to clean this up just a little bit. The first thing I want to do is put int temp equals 0 like so. Because at this point here, the 0, we want to be able to at least not trigger an error if there's, anyways, there's a problem there. So I'm going to go ahead and set this. Next, we're going to try to do the parse. So this is called a try block. I'm going to do try temp equals, and then I'm going to drag this up here. So what this does is a way of safely trying to do something, and then if it happens there's an error, we are going to do what's called a catch. And we're going to try to catch exception E, or EX for exception, your choice. And I'm going to put these brackets here, but I'm not going to put any code in at all. Okay. Although if you want, never mind. We're just going to do the try, the catch, leave nothing in there. Let's test it out again. This time I don't think I can crash it, but we'll see. Okay, we have it back up and running. Notice, first of all, I'm going to try to get Windchill. Notice what happened. This time it didn't crash. Okay, that's because we caught the exception. In other words, this try catch means try this out. If there's an error, this here is how we deal with the error. Now, I didn't actually do anything to deal with the error other than nothing, which just means that's okay. If we can't parse it, temp has already been set to 0. That's not going to crash anything else, although we can find out in a moment if it does. We're going to enter a number. This time we're going to put -100, and we're going to click Get Windchill. Oh, that's not good. So what went wrong? I think I know what went wrong. Oh, that's the click handler. Let's see. Here's my problem here, guys. And I said if the temperature is less than -50 and greater than 50, well, can't be both. So we use the or sign instead, and now we're going to launch it again. All right, nothing beats actual testing of your code to find problems. And we're back. Try to get Windchill, put nothing in, enter a number, negative. Oh, I forgot to put a negative sign. -111 or 1011, whatever. Get Windchill. Now it says result temperature range needs to be between -50 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we put -11 and temperature's -11. So that's working. So at this point, I'm not crashing it. And let's go ahead and add a number in that's going to be too high. Which I got to re-click, I guess. So let's just put 55. That's over the range. Temperature range needs to be between -50 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want, you can also set the error when you do the results as well. If you want to set a little error there that sort of calls attention to it. So I'll just put one last little edit temp dot set error. Oops, wrong one. out of range. Run it one last time. And then in the next tutorial, what we'll do is we'll focus on taking this concept and applying it to the wind speed and basically doing the same general thing. Finally, after that, we can then try to calculate our information. Test it one last time. Negative 222. Notice out of range. And then results temperature range needs to be whatever. Negative 22. We're good. 75. Get wind chill out of range. And that works. Okay, so stay tuned for the next.